But that's where we'll be at with this new flex ability, is it would take every resource we have to do both of them.
Yep.
But we apply.
What was the estimate again for 52? About
4.5 million, but that does not include engineering, so you better include 10% on that.
5.5 million.
And County Road 1 was 1.9.
Plus 10% on that as well.
Okay.
So I guess that's, next meeting we'll try to have figures.
Yeah, I mean, you guys gave me what I need. The only other project we haven't discussed that we discussed was when we were originally going to replace, and maybe this goes in line with our bridge priorities, but the plan was northeast of Pheasant to rip those two bridges out. One would be a removal then, so we could apply as a removal. The other one would be a replacement with a roadway realignment.
With the roadway realignment.
What I don't know is if the roadway realignment there, if we want to prioritize that, that may have to be a roadway project and not a bridge project. So
Because we're changing the road.
because we're moving other projects.
Well, see what we can do.
I can find out if that's gonna be one project or two projects. I would hope they would let us use bridge funds to do that.
Well, you see, just get rid of one bridge.
What's that?
They aren't getting rid of one.
We're getting rid of
I'll get rid of one, so that would actually be a separate.
Take the
Let's
funky
wait.
one out and make it a low water or Texas cross.
That would be to their advantage, if they didn't have to fund this second.
For sure. What I don't know is if the roadway realignment can be paid for with bridge funds or if we have to use road
Like two
funds.
separate categories.
Technicalities.
And I will, now that this is all out, now I can, this application guidance thing just came out 2 days ago, so, or yesterday, I think, actually.
Okay,
Thanks for showing us.
very good.
Yeah.
And as far as the eastern part of County 5, the bids have been, you guys accepted the bid. Have you heard anything as to when they possibly would be starting?
Nothing until after Labor Day.
Nothing until after Labor Day.
That's all I got.
About a week before their deadline, they'll start.
Hey, come on guys, you ready? We're coming.
And that's the only other thing I have left is I brought a contract for construction engineering for the grading and paving, we're calling it, but the Hamburg 1.5 miles there. We typically do 4% design, 6% construction, so we left it at 6% of construction costs, if that works for you guys. And then beyond that, any testing we have on top of the 6%, I guess, is what we've been doing now. So if there's any questions, this can be changed, obviously, but if you guys are in agreement, I wouldn't mind a signature today, so we have a contract for that. Any questions, please let me know.
You ever get any more signs for,
911.
yeah, the street
I
sign?
know it's coming up. We're going to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
So lots to think about, but it's all good. It's obviously, there's money out there now, so.
It's helpful.
Good.
Okay, so you want to get Janelle?
Yeah, I texted her. I can start without her too, and she might be busy. She asked me.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jason.
guys.
Thank you, Jason. I'll be in contact with you here.
Yeah, we'll get the bridges sorted out.
Okay, thank you. The one thing that Janelle and I have talked about is the 911 signs. I think they were put up in 2012. And if you guys have noticed on the along our highways, the 911 signs are in tough shape. There's some that are completely faded out white. And we inspect our signs once a year. year, and we got a book with the inspection. And Janelle and I were talking about how we want to go forward with these 911 signs. Now, when they were originally put in, any 911 signs that were put out in the middle of townships, the county ate the cost to put the original signs up. And if those went bad, then the township would have to pay for those signs. Okay, and that's the ones out in the middle of the gravel roads in the middle of nowhere. Okay, the ones alongside the highways are ours. Okay? They need to be replaced. I would say it would be a safe bet to say 75% of them need to be replaced. And I told Janelle, if we're going to replace 75%, we should just replace them all. Okay? Just to give you guys an idea, this is just estimate. You got roughly 90 some miles of county pavement, and there's an intersection basically at every mile. Okay? So you're going to have roughly 100 signposts, and there's 4 signs on every post. That's 400 signs. Yep. So basically, we need to decide, do you want us to order these signs? And you're looking at 100 signposts, so that's 100 signs, but there's 4 signs in every post, that's 400 signs.
So what do they cost?
Roughly, ballpark, $30 to $35 a sign.
Are all the posts bad?
No, that's
I mean,
just the
I
sign.
see the
Posts are there.
I know.
You're looking at about $13,000 to $14,000. Okay, the signs are the cheap part. Believe it or not, it's the telespar. The telespar is expensive. I can buy a sign for I can buy a stop sign for 40 bucks. If I want to put a telespar on it, an anchor, that 40 now just turned to 250. Okay? So the telespar are all up. They have stop signs, yield signs, everything on. But if we would replace all the 911 signs, and my suggestion is, if you're going to replace 75%, replace 100%. Okay? And replace them all. 400 signs, $30, $35 a sign, $15,000. And you do it. The problem is it's very labor intensive. We're going to have to pull blade guys out, and we're going to have to get, and we can split up into 4 groups, and we can get all these new 911 signs up in the span of a couple days. And then they're all new along all our highways, and hopefully they last another 15 years, 13 years. It was 2012 that they were put up. Okay? The price of signs hasn't gone up very much, but boy, has it telespar. And we looked at the building in 2012, and basically in 2012 the signs were about $6,000, and the rest was telespar and anchors. And that was and the telespar has really gone up. For whatever reason, I don't know. So the telespar is good, guys. It's just
it's a public safety issue. I've got some pictures on my phone that I found over the last couple
Where
of
they're
days.
just solid white.
You can't read anything on them.
Right.
I'll make a
Both
motion.
directions.
I'll make a motion, we do it.
Okay, motion made by Stan, that
I'll
we
second it.
replace them all, second by Randall.
And
More discussion.
I just wondered, as you know, the 911 budget doesn't have the funds in it. It's costing us more for dispatch than we're taking in. So I don't have the money in the 911 fund to buy those signs.
Can't find
I don't
it.
know if they're, huh? I don't know what you said.
Jesus can't find it either.
Hey, but just so we understand, it will come out of the 911 fund.
So what you're saying is the townships are gonna be responsible for their own
The
stuff.
ones out in the middle.
The reason I brought that up is, what's gonna happen is they're gonna see you guys out putting these new ones up,
And they're gonna want to.
and they're gonna go, hey, where's ours?
And they were made aware when they were originally put up into 12 that, and I got a map at the shop with pins on all those, and there was a lot of pins on there. And they were told, listen,
Compared to
put these up.
700,000 last
The
month.
they
initial
need to-
expense
yep.
is ours.
But when they need to be replaced, it's
Township
your
has to do
cost.
Do they have to order their own signs?
I mean, if they come to me
Okay.
and they give me the address, 27th Avenue and 16th Street, I can order them.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have to, or they can call Newman and they can order them.
Okay.
That's
That's up to
where
them.
we get them.
Any other discussion? If not, hearing no other discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried.
Thank you, appreciate that.
That was a big thing that we wanted to talk to you about because, like she said, it is a safety thing, you know, and then you get out there in the dark and you're trying to ambulance or fire trucks to find an area,
Yeah,
and you got a white sign that you can't read.
for emergency vehicles, this is a must.
I agree.
You're gonna get them put up?
We'll get them put up. I'll
But
get
it's
them
not
ordered.
gonna be in a couple
It'll
days,
be-
right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'll call Newman, I'll say, this is what we need,
Maybe you
and,
guys wanna be the sign crew in the afternoons.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm a little reluctant to take blade operators off.
That's the
because they're
problem.
all behind.
well, it's gonna be this would,
It'll have to be as an
that's what I'm
as
saying,
able
we'll
basis.
kind of
We'll
figure
replace
it
what
out.
we can
Right.
as we can.
Don't try not to do that.
no, well, number one, it's gonna take a while to get the sign.
Yeah.
But number two, this is the kind of project that you do in October or in
Yeah.
early November when you don't have snow and the guys aren't busy.
When
on
the ground is froze up and we don't have snow yet.
You don't pull blade guys off in May, June, July, August to go
No.
fix signs.
No.
But don't do it unless it's 20 below.
Well, I guess, yeah, I hear you. You know, the other thing is all these are at the top of the sign. So every post there's gonna be a ladder put up to the post.
Oh, yeah.
You're up there pulling bolts and putting new bolts. You know, it's not like you can walk up to the sign and stick a sign on it. They're all at the top. It takes time.
Bucket truck.
You can rent those.
Oh, we wish. Maybe I'll ask you guys that for next month.
Hey, you can rent those lifts pretty cheap. That would be.
Well, there's some where we've just taken a payloader out there with a man basket. You know, you could,
That would
yeah, it works good. You just pull up, put a guy in a man basket, he changes it, go down a mile, put another one.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, so.
Okay, thanks, Brent.
Okay.
Anything
Hey,
else?
thank you guys.
Have you guys got to the hall stuff yet?
You wanna do that next time?
Do it.
Here you go. Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just saying, you need to keep your e-dispatch on.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I have,
politely excuse yourself.
politely
Come where I
excuse
am.
myself. I had it on vibrate, I just looked at it.
Yeah.
Janelle's the focus of attention right
There
now,
you
not
go.
you, Brent.
It's all
Not
me.
about you,
It's
Brent,
all
anymore.
about me.
Not, at least not right now.
Okay, so we're looking at festival door, Esther, Dan, and Janelle been working on this. You guys wanna fill us in?
Well, you've agreed to do the windows, which are appreciated and needed. Dan took the initiative, I don't want to speak for Dan, to have Fargo Glass come out and look at replacing the north and south doors, which also need it. I'm not privy to the bid, the amount that it will cost or anything. I know Dan will fill you in on that.
And I'm of the mindset the south doors, the main entrances, the accessible entrances, they absolutely have to be done. The north side is
That's still
probably,
good.
is optional,
Aesthetically not pretty, but it opens and locks well.
and it's not accessible, so it's never gonna be a primary entrance regardless.
We do get rain coming in on that north side under the door.
You've got
Into that entry every
you've got the
time.
estimate ahead, in front of you, so, the front door with accessibility, just under 20 grand, 19,566. That's 15,893 to replace the door and all of the windows around it. And this would be stuff that has glass. None of those doors have any glass. There's some glass, but it's too high for anybody to look through anyway. But
So it'd be similar to the door out here, right, Dan?
yep, the accessibility is just under $3,700. So altogether for the front doors, it would be 19,566.
And his front doors are the south doors, so we're all on the same page. The doors the public comes in.
Back door is 9863, and you wouldn't do any accessibility there because the
Comes in
entrance
landing with
doesn't
steps.
offer accessibility. It's steps. So I'm not convinced you have to do the back, but I think you do need to do the front.
Do you have to, legal-wise, do you have to put the handicap door operator or automatic thing in there?
Yeah, we get dinged on it every year at election time for our accessibility element there. So of course you would do that. It's a public building. It needs to have that access.
I spent the last $14 at 1,000.
I'll make a motion to replace them, the handicap one and the south door.
The big doors in the
Yeah,
south
I
side.
saw big doors in the south end, I'll
South
make a motion.
entrance and handicap door.
And a handicap door to be replaced.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got a motion made and second. Dean and Brian, Walt, discussion. So the motion is just for the south side, right?
South side and the handicap door operator.
Well, there's a separate handicap door.
That's the same.
No, that's the same board.
It'll just have a handicapped accessible
Right.
button, I'm assuming, to open the door.
Yes.
We need more discussion on it. Spending more money.
I know.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Just so you feel better, Stan, you're spending way more than 14 grand on signs. Okay, all right.
I
Don't want to
And
be cheap.
then also on your
It's close, wasn't it?
agenda
Wasn't it
for
close?
Festival Hall. is
That's
the-
just for the sign,
see stand
not
stuff.
for all the posts and the labor.
They're
and-
not fine posts.
Well, in some cases,
Well,
they're
you
going to
know,
have
few
to.
words, just gotta
This
get
is
the message
next.
across.
Go ahead, Janelle.
I would just tender my resignation as Festival Hall manager effective at the end of this year. I think I've had plenty of fun over the years, and
You just distribute that to someone else now, right?
maybe.
You've done a
Don't
really
even
good
start.
job.
I didn't even know he was still here.
There's an option.
That was well organized, you did a good job.
I'll make a motion to accept Janelle's resignation and thank her for the many years of service she had in managing that place.
Very good, thank you. Is there a second? Second by Brian Miller. Discussion, sorry to see you go, but you've really done your part, so it's very good.
Thank you. It just got to the point where, and I don't know what your plans are with it going forward, but, you know, the calls in the middle of the night that they can't get the door closed, or the sink's not draining right, or the, yeah. So.
Don't paint a bad picture of this because we gotta find
Wait
somebody
till we
else.
find somebody you
Saying.
can.
You really think that's gonna stop?
I don't know. Well, it's gonna stop for me, I don't know, I don't know if it's gonna stop for you. But I appreciate the upgrades that you guys are making to that building. It hasn't gotten used this year as much as in previous years, but I think it's important to keep it up and use it.
I agree.
So, would you train someone of it? Or would you give some suggestions to whoever you're gonna do it next?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
And I'm not gonna jump in, you know, with Katie cleaning it, that's a tremendous asset,
Right.
and she can do it during the day. I don't know, I know Dan may take it on, because he would have.
It'll be absorbed into this office.
Okay, so he'll have the billing and keep track of the rentals. It
There
would
we
just
go.
need to be somebody at a beck and call for a leaky pipe at 10 at night or whatever, I don't know.
I
That's,
do know that the drain,
Oh, boy, that's a good job.
Pardon me?
the drain does.
Yeah, right.
Goes down a lot.
I got enough.
Right?
Yeah,
Which drain?
The sink drain, the one right up over there.
too, but it's so loud.
We'll talk later.
Okay,
Talk
yeah.
later.
The discussion is done, and I'm gonna call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Carry
Just one
on.
second, I
Yes.
do believe the drain works, but I think the piping is got some leakages.
Duly noted.
Okay. And we cleaned up for a while.
So let's discuss that quick. Dan, you said this office would be willing to absorb that?
We can do that in the budget talk, yeah. It's gonna get absorbed into this office, you're not gonna stick that on anybody else.
Yeah.
And one of the high hopes I have through getting new doors on that facility is so that everybody and their brother doesn't have a key for the damn place.
Yeah.
Okay, and as a former school official, I've had to go through this before. Yeah, we need to get in there. So-and-so's got a key. Well,
Change the back door lock then too.
Well, you're gonna get an opportunity to change the front.
yep. And I don't wanna hear about it when every Tom, Dick, and Harry doesn't have a key for it anymore, because they're not. So,
Sounds like a good deal.
Yep.
All right, where are we at here?
5.
Beer and liquor license.
Okay, we have two situations. The Flatland Trailblazers have a beer license for during the county fair, and part of the county fair is going to resume this Sunday. What is that, the 13th of July, and they're requesting an extension of their license so that they can do that during autocross, which is a part of the fair that's going to continue or complete this Sunday. So it's nothing major here, it's just giving them the
You need a motion
capacity.
on it?
Yes.
No brainer. Brian Miller makes a motion to approve that. Is there a second? Boone? Boone's got a second. Any discussion? It's a good deal. They're gonna pull that off, so. Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
The other one is a wedding that was originally scheduled for the country club, or by, at the Festival Hall, which means the Pheasant Country Club doing business as Festival Hall. That license would have been used for that one, but that wedding is now moved to Mertz's in Hertzfield, and they want to know if we can extend their license to provide that service at that particular area, or that
You
residence.
gotta get in trouble if we denied this with the relatives?
So, probably get in trouble.
Is this
This is really late in the game though, that
Well,
they're coming forward for this.
gonna be in Hertzfield or is
In
that
their
right?
shop,
So it's out of town?
Jeff
Yeah.
and James is
So
shot.
in James's shop.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
and I
On the
literally,
I thought it sounded like in Hertzfield.
No, it's on the farm.
Yeah.
I got asked this question literally 2 days ago.
I'm gonna say, they're
Today's
kinda-
Tuesday, yesterday I got
They're
asked
kinda
this
late in the
question.
game here.
Well, better late than never. What's your wishes, guys? I want to make a motion?
Motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Brad Miller made a motion, Stan seconded to approve the license. Any discussion on it? Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Who made that motion? I got Stan
Brian
second.
Miller made a
Brian
motion,
Miller,
Stan seconded.
me second.
Okay, all right, thank you.
This is a bit of a stretch though, in that, you know, there's a reason for licenses, because you want to have them, and this is, it's fine, but
Yeah, Stan, discussion's over.
When did they decide to change?
I think he was trying to cover you.
no, I wasn't covering anything, I'm just saying that
Okay, so, we down to the public comment policy?
No, item 7 is that parcel. That parcel, 451,040,000, is the former Cafe School, and I think it is time for the county to give that up to somebody who wants to purchase it, in this case, a political subdivision, which is the best kind of buyer of these things because you don't get them back in a tax sale. And it would be my recommendation to you that you sell the property on which the Cafe School sat for $1 to the city of Cafe. They want to buy it.
They do want to buy it.
Yes.
won't they give us more for it than that?
Now, let's get rid of it.
Is that the whole
That was a
block
joke.
then? Is that
Whole lot, right?
That entire block.
Motion to sell the parcel to the city of Cafe.
Motion made by Stan, second by Boone, to sell the parcel to City of Cathay.
as is, right?
Right.
As is, correct,
Okay,
with no future liabilities.
any other discussion? We won't get that back unless Cathay dissolves.
Which is entirely possible.
Exactly.
They don't want somebody putting their junk on the loose across.
That's right.
We don't
Hearing
care.
no other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Done.
Okay. That takes us to the budget, correct?
You know, Dan, it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek comment, but I guess I'd like that included in the motion that we aren't liable for anything in the future on that lot.
Well, you've
3 years from now, they'll come up with some goofy thing and
That we
say.
didn't do or right,
Correct,
that we didn't do or we didn't finish.
right.
But it goes to that city.
Yeah, if somebody's mowing grass and you hit a pipe in the ground, well, I'm gonna fix the $3,000 lawnmower because we didn't.
Well, I think it was in there, take it as is.
Well, as is, yeah, okay.
I think
That's
that's
it
it.
with no liability.
No future liability.
There you go.
Alright.
Very good.
You've already done all the hard work, and the state of North Dakota paid for most of it, so.
Yeah. And that turned out to be pretty good once it got torn down, so. Okay. Public comment policy?
Yeah, let's do the easy one.
You want to do that quick, Dan?
Sure, we can do that. Give me 1 second to dig to it. All right, due to the passage of Senate Bill 2180 and the recent legislature, I told you when we were departing last month that we would have a policy in front of us here this month that you need to have in place prior to your August board meeting, which is on August 5th. You do not have to finalize this today because we will have a special meeting between now and then that is primarily geared towards the budget. But nevertheless, put this together. This particular policy, which I think is pretty straightforward. I think it's pretty innocuous for the most part. There's arguably one element of it that you're probably going to have. Well, there's two elements you'll have to discuss. So I largely used a template that was offered by NDACO. So there isn't anything highly unusual in this. So first of all, the purpose is straightforward because of law. We have to have a public comment section on every general meeting, every regular meeting. You're going to set aside, whether it's 15 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever, it says 15 in here. You're going to set aside 15 minutes for public comments. Now, those of you who have been commissioners for quite a while, which is all of you, you've certainly got experience. We've never not allowed someone to speak. Never. Okay? If you want to get on the agenda, all you have to do is reach out to me, okay? Tell me what your topic is, I'll ask you what your topic is, and we'll put you on the agenda. So this is for those who are not on the agenda. Okay? But regardless, you're going to have to notify me prior to the start of the meeting. There's just no other way to go about this. Okay? So that gets into the idea of public comments. It has to be, we'll have one of these on every meeting. Speaker identification, so they have to tell me their name, their address, and what agenda item it is they wish to discuss with you. Okay? The name obviously is part of public record. The address and all those things are not. Okay, why is it important to put that on there? Because they should have an ownership of whatever the item is they want to address. When Stephen Sprague reached out to me, Fram Township, I want to talk about fill in the blank. Okay? All right? Absolutely. There was never any questions asked there. Time limitations, because you can only have so much time for this, I don't know what we're going to experience in any given public meeting, but if history tells you anything, this number would be what? 0. Okay? Because people are attuned to the practice that they would reach out and ask to be on the agenda. Okay? So this is for those folks that are not on the agenda. Alright? So you have to decide this. I put 15 minutes into this, and I put 3 to 5, which means we could accommodate anywhere from 3 to 5 speakers in that 15-minute time slot. If you want to make it 30, you could accommodate anywhere from 6 to 10. If you think there's going to be 6 to 10 people here that want to come every month to address an item that's on your agenda, maybe. I don't know. So that becomes an element where you need to contemplate, is 15 minutes enough time? I think the city of West Fargo dedicates the first 3 or 4 hours of their meeting to public comments. I think that's ridiculous. Okay? All right. Time limits. Time limits are there, and there's a reason for that. I think we're experiencing that today as we have become akin to doing here in recent time. You know, we had a lot of discussion today, and we went way overboard. Is that necessarily a bad thing? No, but you do have to have some kind of limit. in there. All right, it's the final paragraph in time limitations.